finding mentors, naturally, it's organic. Mentors come in all shapes and sizes. This is important to keep in mind. When you don't have a formal mentoring program, you have to go out on your own and you have to find your own mentors. You know, I'm the executive vice president of Love and Quiches. I'm the coach and I'm the head of HR. So naturally, everybody would want me to be their mentor. I can't be everybody's mentor. I can give everybody advice and my door is always open. So I do at times advise everybody in different ways. I want everybody in my office to have a mentoring experience. So I encourage them to match themselves up with different people in the office. There are peer mentors. There are all different mentors in shapes and sizes. So really, we're going to talk about thinking out of the box. So peers make fabulous mentors. Why do peers make fabulous mentors? Because they're going through the same things that you're going through. So you always think about mentors, you think about, okay, I need to go to somebody who's a level higher than me, but not necessarily. Maybe somebody who's on the same level as you that's having similar experiences can be a really good mentor for you. Maybe you could talk about similar things that you're going through on your level. Maybe you're in a different department. Maybe you can talk about the different experiences that you're going through trying to get to the next level. Maybe you want to talk about work-life balance. Maybe you want to talk about your workload. But there's always different experiences. So you have to think about mentoring in a different way and look at it from a different lens. It doesn't have to be the same traditional mentoring of somebody being, you know, a 20-year-old being mentored by a 40-year-old. That's naturally the lens that we all look at. So I want you all to try to look at it from a different lens. Mentoring up, down, and all around. Okay, so now I'm going to really open up your lens. There are people younger than you that know things that we don't know. I have very often been mentored by people that are younger than me. One of the other things that I do in my company is I'm very often called in an emergency to manage a department. I'm called in to manage a department maybe for a month or so while we're looking for somebody. Right now I'm managing IT. I don't know anything about IT. I know how to manage. I have had to call upon people that are half my age to answer questions about IT. They can manage me. So think out of the box of thinking about mentoring up, down, and around. So don't necessarily look at it as I have to find. Anybody in this room has information that you need. Think out of the box. Scare yourself. When I look for a mentor, and I look for somebody in my personal board, I look for the scariest person who is going to give me the toughest amount of feedback in the world, and I ask them to mentor me. I have gotten some of the scariest advice. I have gotten some of the toughest feedback. I am so grateful to every member of my personal board who has given me crucial conversations, really hard information. In fact, if it wasn't for my personal board, I do not know how I would have gone through this transition. They were the ones that had these tough conversations. These are the ones that talked me off the ledge. These are the ones that reminded me that doing nothing wasn't a strategy. So scare yourself, reach. Don't be afraid to choose somebody that might give you really hard feedback. Don't find a mentor that's just going to say nice things to you, because then there's no part of having a mentor. So scare yourself a little bit. Pick somebody, pick a reach. Pick somebody that might give you tough feedback, that might give you some information that you don't necessarily love. Different situations call for different mentors. It's kind of like, you know, having a great set of golf clubs. You know, I love my personal board. You know, for every shot, you're going to grab a different golf club. I don't want one mentor. I want a lot of mentors. I want to know that for every different shot in life that I'm going to take, I want to reach in. I'm going to say, you know what? Yep, I'm going to take that one. So get different mentors. We talked about thinking out of the box. Remember that everybody has something to share. Now, this one is the most interesting of all. It's social. I went into social media kicking and screaming. But you know what? I've started a whole business on social media. It's a conversation. I've gotten clients on social media. I've gotten mentors on social media. I've mentored people from social media. I've given advice on social media. I put articles up on social media. I blog on social media. It is a good place to give advice. It is a good place to find somebody. It is social. You can be part of the conversation. There are places to get this great mentoring information. It's out there. So the point of this whole dialogue is think of mentoring in a less traditional way. Think of everybody and everything as being a mentor. Don't necessarily think in a traditional way. I mean, I have a story of somebody who became my mentor that I met in a yoga class. We were spotting each other and didn't recognize each other. And it turns out that I was looking for somebody to help me do some of my writing. And I realized that she was the editor of a local newspaper and she was looking for work. And when we started to spot each other, we had the conversation, and now she's mentoring me around that, and I'm mentoring her on growing her business. So really think untraditionally. Don't think corporate, think outside the box. And the most important thing is to ask. I'm going to tell a story later about my accountability partner, but just understand that people are flattered by being asked to help. So it seems really scary to ask somebody to be your mentor, or it seems really scary to be asked to be a mentor, but it's a great, great experience. So ask the question, ask for the help, ask somebody to be your mentor. And if it's not necessarily a mentor in a traditional state, then you're not asking them to do so much. You're asking them to enter your life. You're asking them to be part of your conversation. You're asking them to be part of your future developments. And you're asking them to be part of your story. And you're asking them to be part of their story. So ask the question, think out of the box, think untraditionally, be social, and look at mentoring in a completely, completely different lens.